okay? And it's something that causes a problem between white officers and black community residents. Stop and frisk, okay? I'm going to tell you something. There is not a police department in the country that has a stop and frisk policy. In 1968, there was a Supreme Court case called Terry versus Ohio, where officers had stopped somebody, come up with a gun, and it went to the Supreme Court as to whether or not they could do that. The Supreme Court said that as long as the officers have articulable, reasonable suspicion that that individual has committed or is about to commit a crime, they have the authority to stop them. And then other factors come into play, and then they could frisk, okay? That's not a policy. That's a Supreme Court decision. That has been bastardized by some people who say that we're disproportionately stopping African Americans. We don't stop people based upon population demographics. If we did that, the Supreme Court would say it was unconstitutional. But that's the standard that police departments across the country are being held to. Now, I want you to picture this, and it's going to sound ridiculous. But when that controversy hit New York City, my press guy came to me and said, "Boss, what are we going to do?" I said, "About what?" He said, "This whole frisking policy issue in New York. They're going to come after you because you ran New York's crime strategy." I said, "Well, we're going to do some data." And what we did is we took 2 years of data, 2013 and 2014, and what we found in every one of the 77 neighborhoods in this city, that who we stopped, when we stopped, and where we stopped them was in line with crime complaints, offender descriptions by victims, and arrests. So what does that boil down to? If you're going to tell us, and the numbers we know are not exact, but Chicago is generally a third black, a third white, a third Hispanic, and percentages of others. I want you to picture the white guy who lives in Englewood, and how many times a day we're going to have to stop that guy.
White people live in Englewood?
One guy.
Okay, one guy.
How many times are we going to have to stop that guy so we could make sure that we are stopping 33% of our stops in Englewood are white folks? And what impact would that have on crime when the offender description for murder, shootings, and robberies was 100% African American?